But this is easy, folks. The NFL does not care about women. Here's what they care about. Money. All the NFL cares about is money. They don't care about women. They don't care about the fact that Josh Brown has beaten his wife. They don't care about that. You think they cared when Ray Rice knocked his girlfriend out in an elevator? No, they didn't care about that. You think they cared that Greg Hardy threw his girlfriend on a futon full of guns? No, they didn't care about that. If they cared about that, you know what they would have done? You know what Roger Goodell would have done? He would have showed up at the Greg Hardy appeal of his 10-game suspension and said, no. The CBA says, and you'll know this because of Deflategate, the CBA says that I can do whatever I want, however I want, and I'll be here to pound my chest and defend it and be the judge, jury, executioner. He didn't do that with Greg Hardy. You know why? Because they don't care. The NFL, they're not coming out caring about women. They care about money. They want to do everything they can to take these domestic violence charges and sweep them under the rug and ignore them and make sure that nobody really finds out. John Merritt talks about the extent. Oh, we didn't know about the extent of domestic violence. The NFL, here's the deal. The NFL doesn't want you, the viewer, they don't want you to know the extent. That's the issue. That's what they don't want. You know why? Because at the end of the day, if everybody out in the public knew the extent of some of these issues, well, maybe the league would start to lose money. They don't want to lose money because that's all they care about. And you know what's even funny is that this conversation now about ratings going down, these ratings in the NFL, people aren't watching anymore. People are still watching. All right, look, I'm not doing my own personal ratings poll, and I get ratings come out and people look at them for the NFL, and I guess they're down. But I mean, people that I surround myself with, that I talk to, that are interested in sports, watching sports and the NFL, I don't know one person that doesn't watch. I don't know one person that has stopped watching. I don't know one person that is going to stop watching. In fact, I feel like there's an increase in viewership, at least from the people that I know. I mean, go out and ask people if they're watching the NFL. They'll probably say yes. And it's not just because they like football. It's because of fantasy. It's because of daily fantasy football, all of it, right? Gambling. I don't think people are going to stop watching the NFL. The product's not great. And there's only one sure thing in the NFL when it comes back to the product. You know what that is? That the Patriots are going to win and they're going to cover. That's the only sure thing in the NFL in 2016. And I don't say that with any type of, I am wearing a Red Sox hat right now. If you can see maybe on I'm doing a Facebook. I've been doing Facebook live videos recently. It's just something, why not? Everyone else is doing it. Why can't I do it? Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, you can see I'm wearing my Red Sox hat. But even if I wasn't wearing a Red Sox hat, I mean, this isn't me being a Patriots fan telling you this. I am a Patriots fan, but this isn't me as a Patriot. I'm not saying this because I'm a Patriots fan. I could be, I think I could be a Bills or a Dolphins fan, and I would be feeling the same way. There's only one sure thing in the NFL. Patriots are going to win, and they're going to cover. I think maybe because now that I'm proclaiming this, guess what's going to happen? The sky is going to fall on the New England Patriots. No, but seriously. What, you think they're going into Pittsburgh tomorrow and losing? Big Ben's not in the field? I know you're saying you might be scared of Le'Veon Bell. You really think the Patriots are going to lose? You really think if they win, they won't win by 10? They'll win by 10. I just have that feeling. This isn't a big bad Steelers defense that it used to be. It's not. And I'm certainly not scared of them. You do everything you can now to take Le'Veon Bell out of this game. And you make Landry Jones beat you. And if he beats you, you tip your cap. And you walk out of Pittsburgh tipping your cap. And acknowledging that he did a nice job. But I don't think, I think if you sit back and you just let Le'Veon Bell beat you, then, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't see that coming. Now, you might say, well, Le'Veon Bell has the physical capabilities to be able to even beat you if you are setting up on an entire game plan for him. But I'm going to trust Bill Belichick that he's going to have some type of game plan against Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh tomorrow at 4:25. That's going to maybe not completely take him out of the game, but minimize the damage that he can do to your defense. He's going to have that game plan. There's no question. So if they're going to beat you, Landry Jones is going to beat you. You're going to put your money that Landry Jones beats the Patriots? I know that I'm not. And if the Patriots are going to win this game tomorrow in Pittsburgh with Tom Brady on this revenge tour, that is a real thing, the Patriots will win by at least 10. That's how I feel. But I know that's the on-the-field product. Everyone's still going to watch. So this conversation, oh, the ratings are down and people aren't watching anymore. I almost feel like the NFL wants that to be a story. You know why? Because now that the product is bad and there are some bad things going on and it's tough to watch and maybe even tough to break down from this standpoint, from a media standpoint, they want you still talking about the NFL. Now, they don't want you talking about domestic violence in the NFL, and that's why they've been trying to sweep all this Josh Brown stuff under the rug. Right? That's why Roger Goodell did not show up at the Greg Hardy appeal and say, no. That's going to be a 10-game suspension. And that's that. What happened? It got knocked down. But it knocked down to 4 games, right? It's the same amount of games as Tom Brady. Instead, what Roger Goodell cared about was making sure Deflategate was in the news. Now, sure, the NFL looked ridiculous with that because it was only about the air pressure in footballs. It's foolish. It was stupid. It was the dumbest thing that the NFL and the commissioner of the NFL, it's the dumbest thing they've ever fought for, ever, in the history of the league. But they fought for it because they want it in the news, right? Oh, it was in the news. And sure, they might look a little ridiculous, but at least they don't look like people who have a league full of guys beating their wives or girlfriends. They don't want that stuff out. So when John Mara comes out and says, hey, we didn't know about the extent of Josh Brown. Well, what the NFL doesn't want you to know is they don't want you to know the extent that some of these guys go to. Now, extent shouldn't matter. All that should matter is that he did it. There's some type of abuse there, and you need to put your foot down and say, we're not going to allow this to happen. And now that all this stuff has come out, you're seeing the NFL react. They're only reacting because this stuff is getting out. They weren't going to react. They were going to try to ignore so you, the viewer, would not find out. But the viewer found out. And now the NFL and the commissioner, the biggest buffoon on the face of the earth, Roger Goodell, they're in a spot and in a position where, okay, they need to make it look like they're now doing everything in their power to make sure this doesn't happen again. And Josh Brown, he didn't travel with the Giants to London, but, I mean, yeah, all right, he's on the exempt list, but he's still getting paid? What planet am I on? And, you know, this story today, and I'm reading it on ESPN.com, and it's like sources. Let me just read it. It says NFL owners, executives, coaches, and players have privately been expressing their displeasure over how the league and the New York Giants have handled the domestic violence allegations against kicker Josh Brown. This is what sources confirmed to ESPN. One team owner has called the situation an embarrassment, sources said, as more information into Brown's alleged abuse becomes public. Well, I mean, what else are the owners, executives, coaches, and players going to say right now? Are they going to come out and say, no, you know what? I think the Giants handled this properly. I think they had every right to only give him a 1-game suspension. I think they had every right to maybe not go hard after this journal that Josh Brown has been keeping, in which he's been writing down the details as to what the abuse that he's been putting on his wife has been like. I think that, what do you think? The players, coaches, owners, and executives are going to speak out and say, no, I think the NFL's done a nice job here. Of course they're not. You know why? Because the NFL has not done a nice job. But the only reason you're hearing all this stuff now is because they got exposed. They got caught again ignoring domestic violence. And there's only one thing that really you should understand about this whole situation. It's that the NFL hates women, and even more than that, loves money. Loves money. Loves it. Can't get enough of it, to the point that they love when you talk about their ratings going down. They love when you talk about the announcement, about a freaking announcement that their schedule's going to be released. They love it.